What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video talking about the time that Ashton and I slept in a crackhead's apartment, and he was tweaking all fucking night, dude. It was kind of fucked up, and I don't really know why we were in that environment. But before I get into that, I do want to mention a couple things. First off, I'm going to be doing my first Twitch stream tomorrow night, so make sure that you follow my Twitch. Link is in the description. I don't really know how Twitch works. I mean, if there's notifications on there, hit that button, dude. If there's not, I don't know, be ready to rumble, I guess. I'll tweet out when I'm live. I think Twitch notifies you. I don't use Twitch, dude. You guys can do like the poggers stuff in chat, you know, pog champ. As they say. So that's going to be cool. So be sure to follow me on Twitch. We're doing a speed run, baby. Seeing how fast I get banned. It's going to be quick. So hope you guys enjoy that. And also, ladies and gentlemen, the homies over at Glebe, the secret gravity bong in a shaker cup, are actually hosting a giveaway on Twitter right now. For those of you guys who have been wanting to get one of these, but maybe you don't have the money, go ahead and check the link in the description. Go to their Twitter and enter in their giveaway just by following them and retweeting. They tweeted it out today. I figured I'd promote it here, you know, help them out a little bit. If you guys want to get a discount on a Glebe, check out their description. Pardon me, I fucked that up. Check out the description. Go to glebetm.com and use code GOBLIN at checkout for a nice little discount on your purchase. Ladies and gents, without further ado, and also, hey, the reason this is up so late, all right, no excuses. I went to the dispensary today. They had Pineapple Express. I love that strain, dude. Very legendary strain. I've been smoking it all day, dude. I'm really high right now, and I've been high and lazy all day, so there's my excuse that's not really valid, but either way, let's dive right into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this happened way back in high school, and I want to say I was like 17 at the time. Yeah, I just turned 17. I'm like starting to forget how old I was during these years in high school, dude. I feel like a grandparent, and I'm only 21, dude. But either way, I was 17 at the time, and I'm kicking it with my boy Ashton. For those of you guys who may be new to the channel, Ashton was a very good old friend of mine. We were best buddies in high school, super tight, very close friend of mine, right? And you know, at this particular time, Ashton was the plug. You know, he was serving all the shit, and he had some of the weirdest clientele of any drug dealer I've ever seen. Like, this guy really served everybody. He was serving people's parents, grown-ass adults, serving random people who didn't even live in our area, people taking trains from the city out to where we were to meet up with him at the train station and buy. Like, this guy just had the widest customer base ever. I don't even know how he met half these people, but either way, he had some of these people, and there was one particular guy who we're going to call Joe. Now, I believe I've mentioned Joe a long time ago in some of my past videos, but I've never really gone in depth, and reason being, I only met him twice, maybe 3 times, and it was through Ashton, and he was one of Ashton's most consistent customers. Whenever he would get Coke in, or really any upper, like Coke, Adderalls, anything that would wake this guy up, he was all for it, and benzos. He also loved his Zans. This guy would buy a fuckload of Zans at a time. I know this because I used to be Ashton's like Uber. He used to like throw me money or drugs or just kick it, and I'd drive him around to serves pretty often, right? So I attended a lot of them. I'd go inside of these people's houses. He'd be like, hey, come in with me, bro, you know? So I'd run in, whatever. I'd see a lot of this stuff, right? So either way, we're linking up with Joe, and I'd seen Joe a couple times before this. So it was nothing crazy to see him, and we go serve him, and it's the middle of the day. At this point, we don't know we're spending the night with him or anything, right? It's the middle of the day. We go serve him in the parking lot of the grocery store that he works at, right? All I really knew about him from what Ashton told me is that he like stocks shelves or some shit at this grocery store, which, hey, I used to stock shelves, so more power to him. But either way, he comes out, hops in the car, buys a fuckload of Coke. Buys like, not a fuckload, but he buys like 2 grams of the shit, right? Like a fuckload for one person to go through as quickly as he did, right? This is at like 4 p.m. We just gotten out of school. It was a Friday. I remember that it was the weekend, right? So we serve him. He goes back into work. He comes out in his uniform, dude. Like, this guy just doesn't care, right? Goes back into work. Me and Ashton drive off, do our thing. You know, I think we were just chilling, doing some Coke for the rest of the night. He couldn't smoke. He was rarely ever able to smoke. Like, once a month, right after he got drug tested for probation, he'd smoke. So, you know, I would usually be smoking, and he would just kind of have to sit out, you know? So I'd try not to smoke a lot in front of him, because every time I did, it'd be like, dude, I want it, bro. And I'd have to be like, dude, you can't hit this, you know? And he'd be like, dude, I want to hit that. I'd be like, bro, you can't tap this. You're on probation. You get drug tested. And he's like, you're right. But we're doing a lot of coke and just kind of riding around, stopping at people's houses. Ashton and I's kind of thing was we were kind of some drifters, right? We would just go from function to function. Like, we would just hop around places and go, like, do drugs with people. And then once we felt sufficiently fucked up with those people or, like, bored of it, we just go leave and go somewhere else, right? So that's kind of what we were doing. Nothing super eventful. Just cruising around, going to functions, kicking it with various people. And Joe hits him up again. He's like, hey, dude, you got some more coke? Ashton's like, holy shit, dude. This guy just got 2 grams like 5-6 hours ago, right? It was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night at this point, right? So he's like, dude, this guy just got 2 grams like an hour ago. So he replies to him and he asks him, he's like, did you finish it? And of course, Crackhead Joe, he's like, yeah, dude, it's all gone. I need some more. I don't even know how it's humanly possible to consume that much cocaine. Like, would you not die doing and like, this was good blow, guys. Like, I will say, I don't think it was quite as good as the stuff I was getting during Coke Chronicles, but it was right up there. Second best I've ever done by a long shot. Nothing comes close. Like, those 2 like different plugs for Coke had the best Coke I've ever done by far, right? So this is still really, really high grade stuff, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, like, how? Because at the time I wasn't big into Coke. In high school I was never into Coke. So like, I tried it, but I wasn't like super into it. I would just do like a line when Ashton would do 6, right? I was never at that level until after high school. But nevertheless, he goes and we go to serve this guy and he just wants another gram, right? So we're like, okay, maybe he's going to save this for tomorrow, but he's a crackhead, so who am I kidding? So he's like, hey, just come serve me. And he's like, yeah, I did it all. So Ashton's like, holy shit, dude, we got to go serve this guy. Are you down to drive me? And I'm like, yeah, man, let's go. And he's like, for sure. So we're going to his apartment, right? He's at home now. He's off work. So that's the other thing that I didn't even think about. This guy was at work when he bought it. And like 6 hours later, I never thought about that until now. He was at work, and then 6 hours later, the 2 grams was gone. So this guy was like really, really a top-end crackhead. Like, this guy was peak performance crackhead, right? So we go to his apartment, right? And I'm not going to lie, like, I'm not even trying to be funny here. It was genuinely sad. Like, it was actually, like, sad to walk in this guy's apartment, you know? I was still living with my mom, and I came from a house with furniture all over, food in the fridge, you know, every piece of furniture, decorations. I walk in this guy's apartment. There's a folding chair with a little, like, TV, like a 22-inch TV, maybe, on, like a box. And then there's a bedroom, and his bedroom door's open, and it's just a mattress with a pillow and a blanket on the ground. Like, no, not even like a foundation or like a box spring, just the mattress on the floor. Like, there's nothing on the walls. There's not even a couch, man. There's just a folding chair. And then there's another one folded up in the corner, like in the kitchen, right? So he invites us in, and I still didn't expect to be spending the night here. Like, I was still thinking we're going to go home. And we serve this guy, and we're chilling and we're talking to him for a little bit because Ashton, on the way there, Ashton was kind of telling me a little more about this guy now that we're going into his home. He's like, yeah, you know, I've been serving him for a really long time. He's weird as fuck, but he's very nice. You know, like he'd never hurt anyone. He's a very nice guy. He's very weird, so you got to be ready for that. And I'd spoken to him a little bit. Like, I'd said, hey, what's up to him when, you know, I'd driven Ashton to serves with him in the past. So I'd kind of known he was weird, but man, when I came in tonight, this guy was off his rocker. He buys this gram, and we all sit around his kitchen counter. Well, 2 of us sit. I think he was actually polite. He offered Ashton and I the seats. Nice like, he was a nice crackhead, okay? He was not like great guy. I hope he got some help, dude. I really do. But, you know, he's standing, Ashton and I are sitting, and we're chopping up on this guy's kitchen counter, and we're just kind of chatting, and Ashton's like, oh, how was work, bro? And this guy, like, it's weird. He's like mumbling. Like, he's like, oh, it was really good. It was like, he's like mumbling and talking really fast. He's like, oh, work went really well. I did all my work. And like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck did he just say? And eventually he like goes in his room and gets something. And I lean to Ashton. I'm like, bro, I didn't get a word of it. And Ashton says one of the funniest things that was actually true. Like, this killed me. Ashton goes, oh yeah, dude, you just got to yell at him. And I thought he was joking. Like, I thought he was trying to get me to fuck with this guy. So I didn't do it. But he comes back in from the bedroom, and Ashton's like, you ready to do some blow? And the guy's like, oh yeah. Like, just like normal volume. The guy's just like, oh yeah, man. And as soon as I heard that, I was crying, dude. I was laughing my ass off, and this guy's kind of looking at me, and I'm just like, oh, nothing, dude. Like, he didn't ask me what was funny. I'm just like, oh, don't worry, nothing, dude. It's nothing. But I'm dying, and Ashton's kind of laughing too, and I'm just like, dude, holy fuck, this guy's legendary, bro. So I don't know what it is that about yelling at him that just like turned him on, like it just activated him. But either way, we do these lines, and this guy's an animal. He chopped up his shit, and then Ashton chopped up the shit for himself and myself. And the lines that this guy chopped were colossal. Like, I thought Ashton and I were doing big lines. This guy made us look sober. Like, this shit was crazy. So he's doing these giant lines. They're like, honest to God, probably as long as, like, if I were to take my thumb and my index finger and do like an L from the tip of my thumb to the tip of my index, like diagonally, that's like how long this guy's lines were. And they were wide. Like, these were thick and they were tall. Like, these were little mounds. These were not just like tiny bitch lines. Like, these were thick fucking lines that this guy was doing, right? So we're all railing these lines. And the weird thing is, I thought like maybe he was just mumbling because he was like fiending for coke. No, dude. Like, we just had to yell at this guy for the like brief moments that we spoke to him because he never had much to say, right? So it kind of devolved pretty quickly into us just like rapid fire doing coke and this guy just not saying anything. Like, I tried to like strike up a little conversation because we're in his house, you know? I'm not going to sit here and like only talk to my friend when I'm in some stranger's house. You know, I got to acknowledge him too. So I'm trying to talk to him. I'm like, oh, you know, so like, what do you do at work? And like stuff like that. And he like, I like forgot that I had to yell at him. And he mumbles, and then I remember, and I raise my voice, and he's like, "Oh, I stock shelves. I push the cart around," and I'm just like, "Holy fuck, dude! This guy's my favorite. I love this fucking dude, right?" So finally, he goes to bed, doesn't say anything to us. He just like goes into his room and lays down, but he leaves the door open. So me and Ashton are just kind of sitting there. And Ashton goes over to his door, and I think he's like, we're about to leave. I feel like he's, you know, I expect him to just be like, oh, you know, we're about to head out. Ashton goes, yo, bro, you mind if we spend the night? And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm like, what? I come back over. Ashton's like, dude, let's get lit. Like, we could do whatever we want. And granted, I understood kind of why he did it, because when we were in high school, it's not like we just had fun. Like, our friends didn't just have their own place, you know? Like, it was always someone's parents' house. So if you could go to someone who had their own place and just be able to get lit in there, that was always a huge plus. So I kind of get why he asked it. But I would have appreciated a fair warning. But I didn't get one. So, you know, at first I'm kind of shocked, but then I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I go through like the stages of acceptance on this, right? Like the first stage, I'm like, okay, hell yeah. You know, or no, the first stage I'm a little worried. Then I go on to like the, oh, hell yeah. Then I realize very quickly that there's no sleeping being done because there's only 2 chairs and they're made of metal. So there's no, like, if I get tired, I'm fucked. It's the floor. It's just the floor. Right? So I'm like, damn, dude, this kind of sucks. And the floor wasn't carpet either. Like, shit was not carpet. It wasn't like wood. It was like a weird material. His floor just sucked, dude. It was like a tile. It was weird, dude. This guy's floor, it was like a jail cell in there, dude. But either way, we just go back and sit down, and this guy never comes back out of his room, right? So Ash and I are just sitting here doing blow all night, and we're just talking about the stupidest shit, trying to keep ourselves entertained, right? And we're up until like probably like 5 or 6 in the morning, just dicking around. But by the time he laid down his bed and we got permission to stay there, it was already like 11:30 or 12, right? So we only had 5 or 6 hours to kill until, you know, the sun came up and we were probably going to go home, right? And 5 or 6 hours seems like a lot, but we're talking cocaine time. Cocaine time is like a quarter of real time, dude. Cocaine time just moves. Like, you look at the clock and it's 2 p.m. and then you look again and it's 2 a.m. It's fucked up. So we're sitting here doing blow, doing God knows what. I literally am pretty sure we sat at this kitchen counter all night just doing coke, watching YouTube videos, and talking about stupid shit. Him and I were both into Counter-Strike, so at the time we watched a lot of Counter-Strike videos whenever we'd get lit. I remember that, like, when I go to his house, we'd watch like a Counter-Strike video on one monitor while we like took turns playing on the other, right? And vice versa. If he'd come to my house, we just grind CS. He was much better than me. But I was still not half bad. But either way, Nevertheless, it was a pretty fucked up evening, and finally the sun comes up, and I don't know why we actually stayed the night. Like, I guess it was just to get lit, but I never questioned it. I was just so fucked up I asked no questions. So we finally get out of the house. This dude sleeps, so we don't say like bye or anything. Or the apartment, I guess I should say, not the house. Pardon my terminology. Whatever, it's a home, dude. But nevertheless, we leave this guy's apartment, hop in my car, and drive home, right? And at this point, we are like out of blow that we're willing to do, right? Because I was still throwing Ashton money, right? Like, I was still paying him for some of this coke, right? He was just giving some to me for free for wrangling me into this fucked up situation. Kind of fucked up, also kind of lit. And nevertheless, after the night's over, we end up going home. I drop him off. I head on home, and I immediately get home and smoke myself to sleep, dude. I could not sleep. I was still a little, like, I was at that point where I wasn't tired, but I wasn't geeked. I just, like, knew that I couldn't sleep if I wanted to. But I felt like the physical exhaustion. Just mentally, I couldn't do it, right? So either way, I end up getting home, knocking out, and it was a funny night. I think I saw Crackhead Joe maybe one more time after this before, Ashton ended up moving away, and I just never heard from Crackhead Joe again. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Once again, check out the homies at Glebe doing their giveaway. Link in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Oh, also, don't forget to tune into my first Twitch stream, baby. See you guys next time. Peace.